And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the bottom line. Lanny Ford River here with you this morning. Juju Phillips will join us at the end of the show today. I try to catch up with him, and I think we're going to do we'll probably go do some Monday nights for a while because I like to get Juju in the studio when I can. So we'll do it early so we don't interfere with Monday Night Football. There is a doubleheader coming up this Monday night. They didn't open up with a doubleheader, which I thought they used to.
Yeah, they did.
But, it's I like the doubleheader. I can get most of the game in before I have to go to bed.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm up at 4 o'clock, folks. That's it. I want to change that. I don't know if I can. I mean, it takes a long time to adjust your body when you've been doing that for, like, forever.
You are a creature of habit.
I'm the world's worst. Let me tell you.
You were up pretty early on the golf trip, I got to be honest with you.
I was always up long before you guys were.
Yeah.
Try not to be disturbing, but I just wake up. My body doesn't know Saturdays and Sundays don't require me to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm up. That's just the way that it works. But I'm actually much, much better at that time of day.
Yeah. Because
after about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, don't ask me anything really serious that you need me to consider and think about.
Start going like this.
When my kids want to talk to me at 8 o'clock at night, I'm like, you're not going to like the way this turns out. That's probably not the time to be inquiring on things that you need, if you really need something, because that could turn out bad.
Yeah.
So we're still having issues, I'll go ahead and tell you, but Spectrum is on it. They are on top of the job. They're going to be here bright and early Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. That's only 4 days out, so I'm right there. We're right there, and they're going to get us all taken care of. So it's all good. Yep, I said that out loud. I did.
Fantastic.
Let's see. And when I do Facebook on a different machine, it doesn't work quite as good. Morning, Richie. Glad to have you with us. Richie said, I have friends that worked third years ago, and they still have some sleeping issues. Now, some people like the third.
Yeah.
I never could.
Yeah.
One of my first jobs I worked for Carolina Freight. I was an outbound supervisor in Salisbury, North Carolina, and I went in at 9 o'clock at night, and I got off at 7:30 the next morning, except Fridays. Fridays I went in, and I got off whenever we got finished, which was usually 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But then I would sleep when I got home, and then I would go back to a normal schedule Saturday, Sunday. Mm-hmm. But I would be up by 9, 10 o'clock, usually Monday mornings.
Yeah.
And I didn't get back in bed till 10 o'clock Tuesday mornings. I couldn't sleep. I just, Now, when you start that next day, you don't have your problem sleeping because you're freaking wore out. But it's hard on the body to me. I thought it was. But never was. I didn't like third shift.
Yeah, they had second, you talk about third shift. They had that, years ago in the textile industry, they had that second shift.
Yeah, 3 to 11.
Yeah, I know a lot of the guys that really like that shift.
That one's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you go home and go to bed. Yeah, they still get up and have a regular day and then go to work.
Camden was working, some of the shifts she was working when she was at Abernathy Laurel, she would work a 3 to 3 in the afternoon till 3 a.m. And that wasn't bad because I'm going to tell you something. If you have a normal schedule, that 3 to 6, 7 o'clock, sleeping pattern, that's the one. If you can get that one, you can kind of make it.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm not a third shifter. I don't like the third shift, not at all. A couple things I wanted to ask you about because I don't know what they do in high school.
Okay.
This was an article that came out, and I saw this, and I didn't really understand it, but concussions among players who wore Guardian caps over the summer dropped 50%.
That's right.
Now, they were mandated to wear them compared to the previous 3-year average, but for the first time, they required offensive linemen, defensive linemen, tight ends, linebackers to wear them during practice between start of training camp until the second preseason game. There were 11 concussions among those position groups during that time. 6 of those were caused by contact to the face mask, which is not protected by the Guardian cap. Now, here's my question. If that seems to be working, why are you not wearing them during the game? You can't?
You can. It's legal in high school to wear them during the game if you want to. I have been watching this since we got them several years ago, and we even wore them in our scrimmages or one of the scrimmages. The kids like them. The one thing that it does, I mean, it does provide a lot of cushion because when you have two hard, I mean, I'm just stating the obvious, but two hard surfaces, the energy's got to be displaced somewhere, and it's more absorbed, in the padding of the guarding caps. So I think they're onto something there. Also, when you have that, whatever color the guarding cap may be, ours they were white at one point, but
dirty now,
right? But it does provide awareness to the head as well, because it does stand out, and so it's almost like it's an avoidable thing when possible, because of being conscious about it. So I think there's more than just the padding, that's there. It's kind of like putting a stop sign out. And it's not stop. People are kind of missing it, and all of a sudden you put a really big one out there, and most people see it. I personally, just based off what I've seen, I have nothing, data research, just paying attention to it and observing it. I do think the guardian caps do bring an awareness to the helmet-to-helmet part of things, and when that is incidental contact, Lanny, it's much less devastating. In that, and you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Milton, good morning. Prayers for you, buddy. Got some medical procedures coming up. The other thing that I read talking about the guardian caps was that some folks were afraid that it would, because you knew that the impact wasn't as bad, you would have people taking some shots with them, and then when it got into real contact, without them. But I'm waiting to see if there's some type of, and I'm sure they're working on this, some way that they can institute that technology into the permanent helmet somehow. But are they thick? I mean, I've never seen one physically.
Yeah. So I'll kid aside, I'll bring you one in, because we got some that we use. I got to tell you, Lanny, it's a big deal to me. Like when Kane Hauser, who's our AD at Maiden, Will Burnett called me. This was like 4 or 5 years ago, where I was just kind of, I think I was coaching in middle school at the time, but I still go to high school for like 3 or 4 or 5 years before that, and just help out on like Fridays, whatever they needed me to do. It didn't matter, if I was spotting in the box, or hey, it's 3rd and 8, or whatever. Just trying to be helpful, but not being able to be there all the time at that time. Kane tells Will, I think, we're going to get these. There wasn't a whole lot of info out on them, but the idea sounded really good from a safety standpoint. Will said, I only think we got enough in the budget to get just the varsity ones. And I said, order them all. And then he sent me a message like 10 minutes later, said, Kane just sent me a message, said, we're getting everybody one regardless. We're going to invest in these.
And it's a liability issue as well.
I think in the beginning you look and see what money's available. Then you say, well, wait a minute, this is not an expense. This is an investment. We're going to do this. So, I was happy that, the point was we were going to get them for everybody regardless. But I was glad to see that, that it intrigued our administrators and our football coach enough. And I believe that Coach Burn was telling me that Coastal Carolina, I believe that's right. It's one of the schools, but that they had used them and really, really, were big on them and just trying to spread the word about it. That how great it was. So we wear them all the time. All the time.
Milton said the impact sensor technology is already available.
It is.
But the cost is the issue on that. And that's because it's technology.
Yeah, no, and Milton's right. I mean, and it's really good what they got. The problem is, the feedback is good, but prevention, is the ultimate goal.
That's because it's after the fact.
That's what I mean. So to Milton's point, that information is so valuable. And like you're talking about technology, that's where the cost is driven from, which is completely justifiable. I mean, this is a big deal. But the guardian caps, Lanny, they are a big deal. And I have noticed, and I've been doing football like you a long time, and we both have been hit in the head. I got hit in the head the hardest I've ever been hit in my life in 9th grade. And it's Keywan McDaniel, who's on our staff, who's a good friend of mine. He knew a guy that I played against at Freedom High School named Chip Lewis. He used to be the head coach at Patton. He's my age. Chip was very advanced for 9th grade. Even though we were junior highs, it was like 2 varsity teams playing football that 9th grade year. I mean, we had really, really good, teams. These were not, they got 1 or 2 really good athletes and then, whatever. this was serious football even back then between Valdez Junior High and Oak Hill, which is a freedom feeder at that time. I was carrying the ball back to pass, had to break contain. They were coming to get me, so I sprinted out to the left and avoided a tackle. Got hit, spun off of it, and I put my hand on the ground. And as I was raising up, Chip, who was the fastest kid in our county, track, everything, amazing how quick, 100 meters is amazing. He came and he hit me right here with his helmet. And and I felt, I was halfway down when he hit me. But I've never, and today I still feel that hit. And the point is, guardian caps, they may not protect you if you don't wear them in a game, but when you get hit like that in practice, and the whole point this whole thing is, as long as you and I have been doing football, you a couple years longer than me, according now the JR, that's the truth.
That's
right?
Correct.
But my point of this is I have seen less instances of us having to worry about head-to-head contact, which we were always very conscious of with our kids at Maiden. I have not hardly seen any of that since we've been wearing these guardian caps for two reasons, I believe. Number one, the helmet, the cap is so thick and big and white and so noticeable. And number two, it's actually protecting the head.
And it creates awareness that you –
and that's a good thing, because you know what we're doing? We're tackling with our shoulder. If the one thing people can say about our defense the last, several years since we got the guardian caps is we're putting a shoulder into people like it was originally intended. What did Coach Brown used to say? Do you remember the thing about wearing the helmets? I think you and I talked about this a couple of years ago, but he said, son, if you – because you're young and you're asking about concussions and helmets and how they change. He said, son, if you want to take concussions out of football, take the helmet off and play.
That's right.
And so,
or go back to the leather hats.
And you know what he was talking about, right? So – but again, the guardian caps are a great thing.
Yeah,
they are.
Andrew said, check out the technology that LSU's working on with and using. They are using impact sensors and monitoring head impact through sensors in their mouthpieces
too. Okay,
I've never heard that.
Jarring of the jaw.
That's interesting.
And
that makes sense. And Milton said he had a stroke from a blood clot, triple 2x10 beam to the crown of the fire helmet. Because Milton
used to,
he was fire chief, in Krause.
That's incredible.
It's
2 by 10.
The way they're making changes and trying to be proactive about this. When I started in football, we were still in suspension helmets. Okay. And then when I got to high school, my helmet that I wore, which I donated to the Hall of Fame because it was outlawed when I graduated.
Was it leather?
It was McGregor. No, it was actual plastic.
I'm just kidding.
It was a McGregor, and it had padding. Okay.
Was it
it was real thick? It was thicker, air had not come along really then.
And they went like this and it went the other way, that kind of padding?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I wore. And then when everybody's going to laugh when I say this. I'm not a waterhead, but when I went to Clemson, I wore a water helmet. The padding inside the helmet was water bags.
Right.
And it was supposed to be, and that was just one they gave the fat boys.
Right.
The backs and stuff didn't have to wear them, but the fat boys had to wear them.
Did y'all have the cheese packs?
And they weighed 7,000 pounds.
Oh, they were so heavy.
Your head would just. Huh?
Did y'all have the cheese packs? Where they had the individual pieces they put in that were
not that I remember.
What I'm talking about. You remember?
Yes.
Those were okay. They weren't as good in this area, but they were really good around.
The water pack, the waters that I wore made a lot of sense because it was fluid.
Right.
And it could give, kind of like how the brain does inside the head.
Absolutely.
So, but they were so ungodly heavy. And then that's when air started coming around after that.
Yeah. I wore cheese pack in junior high. We actually had a suspension helmet when I played 6th grade football in Valdez. Mm-hmm. They were left over from the 70s. This is the early to
those
mid-80s.
were the real helmets for us when I played.
The single bar around here, or the two short bars.
Yeah,
everybody had one. Your whole face is exposed.
I got to get Scott in here sometime just to talk about helmets. We've got one of the new ones over there that he let us borrow. One of the new speed helmets.
They're
Those
really
things.
good.
And I know my friend Sheldon Abernathy, he just bought one from Scott. And there's a lot of parents that are buying helmets
Andrew
for their kids.
bought one for Harrison.
Yeah,
and,
so
and Gary continues to play, Laney. I will get one from Scott as well.
Harrison, Bull doesn't need one of those,
Bull,
Andrew.
Let me tell you something.
He's the man.
I'm very proud. Andrew, I helped their sixth grade, our team, 6th and 7th grade team at night after high school practice. Go over and Gary plays and Andrew's coaching and a couple other guys, and I really like the direction that we got some good days ahead of us. Harrison has worked out really hard. He's lifted weights. He's trying to. He's turning from that little boy starting to get into that pre-man body, and he's really worked hard on on trying to be more athletic, and he's very aggressive, which I love.
Andrew says he's got a new Vicus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That he'll bring by and check out. I love looking at stuff like that. That's when I was in junior high, we had all brand new equipment because we had a brand new school. We were just starting.
Yeah, right.
We had no mask except the 2 bars. That's all that they bought at that time. And the Lutheran minister at Cedar Grove is his son played. We played together, and his son got one of these U-shaped.
Yeah,
I think Zonka used to wear one of those.
That's who it was.
And then he got me a cage, and I had a cage on mine.
That's good.
Matt Hendricks says Bull's the beast.
Oh,
and he is.
Now, Matt's the head coach, and Matt does a phenomenal job. He's very good with the kids. He's very organized. This has been a great experience for these kids. So far it's been really good.
I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, I'll try to answer your question, Richie. Richie said, you know what kind of helmet Zeke Elliott is wearing?
Yeah,
it looks like a space helmet. And these guys now kind of get to pick the helmet that they want, and then you've got the idiots like T.O. that wanted to wear one from 1953.
Or Tom Brady. Remember Brady didn't want to trade his out.
Yeah,
Remember
Tommy.
That?
Yeah.
But,
We'll be back in a minute.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And we're back. I got that answer for you, Richie. Richie wanted to know what kind of helmet that Zeke is wearing. And Zeke is sporting the new Rydell Axiom helmet, which allows players to take another step towards improving prevention of common football-related brain injuries like CTE. It starts with a 3D scan to customize the helmet's shape, and you remove the top bar of the face mask, which allows players to have a broader view of the field. The Axiom has sensors all throughout the helmet, allowing for in-game analysis of which parts of the head are receiving the most impact on each play. And with that technology, players will be more aware of potential head injuries, hopefully avoid serious head, neck injuries while competing. For as far as futuristic and cool as the aesthetics are, the helmet's research is even more impressive. And it is a good-looking helmet.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but how's that going to prevent – the feedback tells you what's happening, but how are you going to change what's happening?
I don't know how that's got to be a teaching moment of some sort.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't. If I sounded like I was against, I'm not. I'm just asking a question.
And you're right. Andrew said it was a new version of SpeedFlex. It's not a new version of SpeedFlex. It is the carry-on model that will eventually replace SpeedFlex.
Oh, okay.
The Axiom. Yeah. The Axiom is a whole different model, not something that's a part of that. I got a good friend. He is, I don't know, Southeast Regional Sales Director for Rydell. Larry Kennedy. It escaped me. Larry lives in Charlotte, played for Steve Spurrier at the Gators. I want to say he was a secondary guy. I want to say he's maybe in their Hall of Fame. But he does a great job with Rydell. When I started Highland, that's where we bought our helmets, was through Rydell. And I know he does a lot of stuff around here in this area. He used to coach at one of the high schools in Charlotte, but I don't know exactly which one. Richie said it's a good-looking helmet until they put that big star on the side of it, and then you would be correct there, I believe. Richie says Brady's getting divorced. I have not seen that. I know that Giselle is not a happy camper. That's the only thing that I do know. And my guess would be I think you're going to see this will be Tommy's last year. He talked about it on his podcast. He got hit a lot. He feels a little bit more. And you do as you get older. That's just kind of the way that works.
Well, he's been doing it over 20 years, too. I mean, in the NFL, you're going to feel it after 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Imagine somebody that – and not you, but you say, well, he plays quarterback and doesn't get hit. Listen, when he drops back – he gets hit, if not every play, every other play, in some manner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how quick you get rid of the ball. There's a residual effect that we don't see with the flight of the ball in the air and the contact that happens to him. So,
how about a primetime matchup tonight of the Chargers and the Chiefs?
Yep, going Chargers. They were embarrassed. I was thinking L.A., the Rams. I'm still going Chargers, though, because as good as Patrick Mahomes is, and he's still incredible and will be for a long time, there's a certain amount of film that once it gets out, you start taking away some things.
Yep.
And he's got a couple weapons that aren't playing there anymore. A couple linemen. Things are changing, so we'll see.
Looking at the Sunday lineup, it'd be the Jets at the Browns, the Commanders at the Lions. I don't think the Commanders can win 2. The Lions are a better ball team than they were. Tommy goes to New Orleans. The Panthers go to the Giants. I think the Panthers go 0-2 based on what I saw from the Giants last week.
Yep.
Nobody likes when I say that. Patriots to the Steelers. I don't think that's a hard one. Colts and Jacksonville. Jacksonville played really good last week. They're
Colts
coming
did
around.
not.
They're coming around. Yeah. I hate to say it. I think Matty Ice is – it's time to make a replacement.
Right. And the thing that you may take a look at in Indianapolis is it's like the quarterback of the year for them.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of finding – it's like, well, we got to win now. Well, that's true until tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, hey, whatever. Good luck.
Miami at Baltimore, that'll be a great game, I think. Miami's better than I had anticipated. I don't know if they could beat the Ravens.
Yeah, Tua, that was interesting the other day.
Yeah, he played well.
Yeah, and he's got some familiarity with Waddle.
The Falcons are going to take one on the chin. They go to L.A. and SoFi.
They're going to get the residual.
Yeah, because they were embarrassed.
Boy.
Rams were embarrassed. This is an interesting to me. Seattle at San Francisco, I think the jury's really out on Trey Lance. I don't think that experiment's working out real well. And then the other thing that I think is going to happen
my God.
I think you're going to see the pressure and the heat turned up on Kyle Shanahan because everybody's not sold on that.
Everybody's the latest genius till they're not.
Yep.
Athleticism is such an important part of, being a pro athlete. We all know that. But grit and desire, as we've seen in Brady. Now, to say Brady's not a good athlete that's not a fair statement because he's drafted out of high school as a baseball player. But the intuition, the work ethic, the self-awareness of knowing what you can do versus what you're trying to do things you can't.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe some of these things they're not popular to talk about or, to rave about because all we want to hear about in the NFL Combine is this guy runs a 4.2 40.
Measurables.
This guy bench pressed 225, 7,482 times.
Mm-hmm.
This guy over here did this instead of saying, that guy has got what it takes to make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From another standpoint.
Adam says Mahomes has a lot of big targets. Yeah, but the thing that's hurt, he doesn't have the line that he's had in the past. But,
and Adam's right.
And he makes a lot of things happen, though. He makes a lot of things happen.
And the reason I brought that, and that's a good point Adam made so we can expand on that, Lanny, is that when there's a lot of film that's available, and now there is on Mahomes, just like on Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I expect Burrow to have a sophomore slump, even though this is year 3, but he's only
not
played
this week.
2 but you know what I'm saying.
He goes to Dallas, it won't be a problem.
So there's so much film out there that, once Tampa Bay figured out how to manipulate him a little bit, Mahomes, some other people have compounded off of that and they still hadn't, achieved.
Mm-hmm.
So, but really like him, love him to death. But, I think we're seeing, starting to see some things unfold.
Milton thinks the Chiefs will blast the Chargers in Arrowhead. Adam said athlete versus excelling at your position can be two different things.
Right.
Richie said he's hearing Cowboys defensive player Parsons is mad about a chip block Fournette had on him. Now some are looking to have the block taken out. Well, anytime they feel like it's a little offensive to you, that's the way that works. Cincinnati goes to Dallas. Dallas only scored 3 points last week. Dak's out at least 6 to 8 weeks. I think they take another loss down in Big D. Houston at Denver. Russell Wilson gets straightened out. I think he gets back on track this week in Denver. Arizona, the Cardinals are at the Raiders. Could be a toss-up. I'm not a Cardinals fan. I'm not sure they got that going. And then here's the interesting one.
Yep.
Can Chicago roll into Green Bay and beat Aaron Rodgers?
Absolutely.
I think that can happen.
Absolutely not.
I think it can happen.
It's going to be ugly.
Okay.
You're going to see.
Okay.
You're going to see the 38-year-old guy with the hair.
Okay.
Go off.
Titans travel to Buffalo for a 7:15 game on Monday night. I like the Bills.
Yep.
And this may be the game of the week on Monday night at 8:30. The Vikings at the Eagles. The Eagles are a new ball team. The Eagles may be deeper in NFC than you think when the end of the year comes.
And watching Jalen Hurts throw the football on Sunday through some of the clips.
Yep.
Let me tell you something.
And I like Minnesota too.
No. Kirk Cousins is good. I mean, regardless of what people say, he is that guy. Nobody just wants to admit it. My thing is, all right, let's do this. This is fair, all right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick between him and Trey Lance, Kirk Cousins, Trey Lance, who would you take?
Kirk Cousins.
Okay. Now, again, Kirk Cousins or Jimmy G?
Jimmy G.
Then what the crap are we talking about?
It's because they everything that I've read, the concern and the problem they have with Jimmy G, they're afraid he can't be healthy when you get to the end of the season.
And is his health on him?
I'm riding that out. I'm just telling you.
No, I understand. I'm just asking.
I'm taking him and riding him out.
I'm not asking you. I mean, I'm just throwing out. But then again, we are responsible for ourselves regardless of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the end, that's what the thing is. This is very strange to me,
mm-hmm.
and it has been since we started talking about this. It's like the thing with Aaron Rodgers we talked about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't invest in a first-round wide receiver. They invested in a quarterback first round.
Mm-hmm.
Does that dude even dress out anymore? He played in the preseason, right?
Yeah, but that was. I get it.
I mean, my head's hurting again. Just trying to figure it out. But now I'm surrounded by. Well, I'm not going to go there either. But it's just. Oh my God. I just want somebody to explain to me how bringing Baker Mayfield in does anything for your team. What? Okay, so what does it do?
We've already been there.
No, it sells jerseys. And it gets people excited about the possibilities.
Yeah.
But does the 2 or 3 great plays, are the inadequacies able to did the inadequacies overcome that? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Because the other stuff. It's unbelievable. Nobody wanted Tim Tebow. Nobody. Oh, he can't do this. He can't do that. Look at the dysfunction with all the other first-round quarterbacks.
Oh, I know. No.
It's just unbelievable.
I get it.
Oh.
I get it. Nope. I get it.
Wow.
Couple more things. This one worries me a little bit.
Jeez.
ADs express preference to keep FBS under NCAA.
It will now.
There's no future in that.
No, well, I got to tell you now that they've started working things out within the conferences and they're talking about this and talking about that, and I think that I don't think they're going to go to a very large pool now. I think they're because you're seeing teams like where do you put Appalachian State that goes in and beats?
I told
Texas,
you the idea that I like the best. Okay, this was something, and I wished I could remember. I don't know if it's Dan Patrick, somebody on his show, Cal Hurd, whoever.
I think it was Dan.
You take every year. You evaluate the top 60 teams, regardless of what conference or what level you play on, based on competition, whatever, and then those 60 become the ones that compete.
That sounds great in theory, but what happens when you evaluate a team that has gone 9-1? Okay, I'm just giving an example, and they got 2 or 3 games left, and all of a sudden the quarterback. All right.
Well, there's a lot of
there's too many variables in that.
Yeah.
It sounds great, like to say, oh, let's it's like ideas in a boardroom. Oh, that's a great idea, and then when you try to implement it, you're like,
yeah, you got to figure out, is it realistic?
We're going to have to. Oh no, well, I didn't think about this.
Yeah,
you got to let things play themselves out.
Yeah,
and if you try to bundle everything in, the only way you make this work is you say, okay. Regardless, NCAA says this is how many Division I teams we have. This is it. And then you have a Division II. and then you have a Division III, and then you have a Division IV and V, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way. Now, can you apply to go from one to the other? Yeah, but you have to do that in order to have a true champion. There's too much mix over. Well, this is a FBS or FCS school, but yet they still get this or that.
Well, the problem is there's arbitrary measuring sticks that has nothing to do with performance on the field.
Right.
And grouping these. And that's why I like the top 60 thing. Just let it play out.
I don't think it's a bad idea. By any means,
but you know what? I don't like the current model. The current model maximizes at present the amount of dollars. Correct.
Like you always say, follow the money. You know where
how I feel about that.
Smell the green, it'll take you to the gold. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's this is where we are, and the balance between the two. There's no way you can do it because you're looking at it. You and I would look at it from a purist standpoint.
Yes.
Just like we would in high school football, saying, okay, instead of everybody going, the conference champion goes.
Yeah.
And then you have another playoff for the second place teams. They play 2 or 3 games and they're done.
Yeah.
But you want the best of the best that finished.
That's
All
right.
And man, come on. All right, just
let me give you the last couple comments, and then we're going to take a break. Ford's got to get out of here, and then I'll have Juju come on. Bob gave a great thing here. Bob said Fournette is a guard wearing a number 7 jersey.
He is now.
That's the truth. Milton said Rodgers might smoke his hookah and be sleepy.
Whoa.
Richie said, do the Chiefs have a kicker, or are they going to continue using their safety, Justin Reed, who made an extra point, a field goal, and kicked the kickoff through the uprights?
He was really good, by the way.
They don't take it serious. That's for Milton said Jordan Love did play the last 2 minutes of the Packers' loss.
Yeah.
They sent him in for cleanup duty.
Yeah, I was kind of
And Milton said they did sign one to a practice squad. Come on, Andrew. And then here's your stat of the week. Since Dirt is the first time that Wake, Duke, Carolina, and State have all been undefeated at the same time. Carolina shouldn't be.
Well, now, okay. However, I will tell you, I was talking, I was texting a little bit Monday night with the defensive coordinator at Duke, Rob Smith, okay? And he worked with Coach Elko, I think, at like A&M, who's the head coach, there. They're very defensive mindset at Duke, right? Kind of the opposite of what they've been. And there's a lot of excitement. The Johnson kid that played at Newton Conover made the big hit at the goal line to keep the score from happening. They're playing Northwestern. So there's a lot of excitement here, to get these, to get things going down that way. And it's like you and I talk about, it's only going to improve the ACC the more we can get these teams undefeated till they actually start playing each other.
No, you're right.
And it's going to make college football better. And my hope, Laney, is in a perfect world that the ACC can survive itself and possibly go back to the 8 or 10 teams that it had.
It's going to go back to the 8 or 10 teams, but it's not going to be the 8 or 10 teams you want it to be.
But you know what I mean. No, I'm with you. With you. But you know who I want back in? Maryland, obviously.
I've got another show, Pat 40. Do you know Pat 40 that writes?
Oh, yeah.
He did an article about what's going to happen to the teams that are left. Okay. After this last move, and we need to talk about that one day.
Awesome.
Let me take a break and get Andrew in here because he's going to tear my door down. Juju's up next.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, and then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back to the Thursday edition of The Bottom Line. Lanny Ford along with you here on a Thursday. Nice day out. It actually feels like football weather finally. I'll go to our phones and bring our guest on. We have him on each and every week, Juju Phillips. We like him better when he's in studio, but we'll take what we can get. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, Lanny. Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good. What's going on in your world, my friend?
Well, it's that time of the year when gearing up, and it's all, sports-wise, it's a lot of football. And I heard today that, some people from ESPN are heading through Hickory and up the mountain to get ready for an college football game day, which is coming up on Saturday. First time ever they've ever been in Boone. They're arriving there today to head on top of the mountain, and it should be pretty interesting as App State, and again, it's hard to believe that they still did not get any votes, or at least enough votes to get in the top 25 in college football after last week's upset. But it should be interesting that that whole crew is going to be making its way to college game day on top of the mountain at Appalachian State. My understanding is that they're still looking, and I don't know who it would be, Lanny. College game day does their guest picker. I don't know what tie they're going to have to Appalachian State, but who is going to be their guest picker for that game. I'm guessing it's going to be somebody like a Jerry Moore, or if they decide to go the entertainment route, might be Eric Church, or the other guy that does Luke Combs, I think his name.
Yep.
All Appalachian State guys. I kind of wonder, that's going to be interesting to see. And what kind of ratings will they turn out to get for that game as well?
Well, my first guess would be Eric Church, of course, and if not, maybe a Luke Combs. I think they'll go that route. Jerry Moore would be a great pick locally, but really doesn't say anything outside of the Appalachian area or the Appalachian fan base. So I'm going to say that they're probably going to go with a bigger name.
You might be right. And then you got a couple of guys that have Appalachian State ties, former players that you can go to Corey Lynch, who made that big play against Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Go back a few years, Dexter Coakley,
Mm-hmm.
a good player, made the NFL. I don't know who else you pick, or maybe Armani Edwards, if you're going to go that route. Did Ric Flair's daughter go to
Yes.
Appalachian State?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not bringing Ric Flair in. Woo! Just in case you wonder.
Okay. The other story I think I scratched my head on, and I saw this yesterday, is that South Caldwell High School is having, they announced they're having their Hall of Fame, their first ever Hall of Fame class.
Mm-hmm.
And they've only been around since the late 70s, like 77, 78.
That was first year, my senior year. That's correct.
Yeah, and they announced they're going to have 15 people go into their school's first ever Hall of Fame class.
Mm-hmm.
And among those 15 is Landon Dickerson,
Mm-hmm.
who was a resident, who graduated from South Caldwell, but he only was there for like 6 or 7 months. Now, that is their Hall of Fame. They can put in whoever they want, but that's a little bit head scratcher to me. Headlined by Madison Bumgarner, that's a gimme. But Dan Hardy's going in. The late Dan Hardy, he was one of the 15 guys that got nominated and will be inducted. I believe they're going to do it tomorrow night at halftime of their football game. South Caldwell.
Let me, if you've got the list, is our buddy Donnie going in?
His father is. I don't think Donnie is, but his dad, Don Kirkpatrick, is going in. He's one of the 15.
I'm surprised Donnie's not. His career, and then look at what he's done in coaching post-career. That's a little surprising to me.
Maybe they're saving him for the second class. Again, you're putting 15 people in the first year. Again, a school that's only been around for, 50 years, right?
That's correct. No. It's be 45 years.
45, excuse me.
Don't make me older than I am, Juju.
Yeah, 45 years. So they've been around 45 years. They're putting 15 people in the first year. That's going to – who's left? And Donnie must be one of them. So I just thought it interesting. Landon Dickerson playing in the NFL now, had a great career at Alabama, before that Florida State. But he grew up a block and a half where I lived at for 17 years. And then he transferred to South Caldwell after Hickory fired his head football coach in late October, back in, I believe, 2015 or 2016. But anyway, he spent 7 months there at South Caldwell, but he's going to go into their Sports Hall of Fame.
And prior to that, where was he?
He was at Hickory High.
Okay.
He went to Hickory High and Grandview Middle School, and I don't know exactly where he went to elementary school.
I guess what I'm saying, but he was a Catawba County resident.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
His entire life.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
And after he graduated, he stayed a Catawba County resident until, obviously, now he's, went to Alabama and now on to the Philadelphia Eagles. And his parents have since moved, and they live in Tennessee now.
Mm-hmm. I guess they wanted to get him in before Hickory snatched him up, because Hickory probably wouldn't put him in now.
Well, yeah, Hickory doesn't have a Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
They don't have a school Hall of Fame. That might be a good idea to have.
We don't have one. We don't have one at West Lincoln, where I came from. I don't know that Maiden does, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think Maiden did. They started, I don't think they call it Hall of Fame. They called the Hall of Honor,
but that's only got this, like, Jamie went on that. Maybe 4 people is all it's on that.
Yeah. And maybe that's the way to go is, put in 1 or 2 every year instead of 15 in the first year.
Yeah, but it took them forever to get those 4 in there. That's not something they do annually.
Oh, okay.
No. Not something they do annually.
I just thought it interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
They would do that. Now, Madison Bumgarner is not even in the Caldwell County Sports Hall of Fame, I don't think. I think they were waiting for him to retire before they put him in. And I doubt if he would be even at the ceremony tomorrow, as Landon Dickerson's not going to leave the NFL on a Friday and come up to Caldwell County for halftime ceremony. I doubt that he will be formally inducted as well. But
he couldn't fly into the Sawmills International Airport.
Well, he might be flying in along with the guys from College Game Day. Who knows?
Yeah. That's interesting. I'd be curious to see how many high schools in our area actually have Halls of Fame.
Newton Conover does.
Okay.
And I think that's about the only one. Maybe Alexander Central.
Yes, they do. I've seen that one because we used to go up there and play volleyball when my daughter was playing, and I love to go when I go to schools like that or colleges if they've got stuff like that, a trophy area that they've got memorabilia. Maiden's got a great one outside their gym. That's a great memorabilia area, and I like to read through those and see if there's folks that I know or heard of, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that might be the only one. I just know Newton Conover has one, and with each county having a Hall of Fame, it's a little bit of an overlap with some of the high schools. But again, nonetheless, it's their Hall of Fame. They can do whatever they want.
Yes.
I just thought it interesting that a kid that spent all the 6 or 7 months there is heading into their Hall of Fame. Now, he's certainly worthy, right? You played Florida State. You played Alabama. You're right now. Yeah, so absolutely. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. The other thing is, of course, football this weekend. Lenore Ryan hits the road. They go to Erskine, which is in Due West, South Carolina. But they play Greenwood High School, Lanny, and it's really well put together college or high school stadium that looks like a college stadium. They play Erskine for the first time in 70 years.
Richie mentioned that either Monday night when we were on or yesterday when Four and I were on, because he said there needs to be a Division II College Game Day come to Greenwood. That's where he lives, and he was talking about that matchup.
Well, they do have some reporters, national reporters, that go around. Our buddy that we talked to.
Yeah, Chuck Bittner.
Chuck Bittner. He was at the Lenore Ryan game. Let's see, there was another guy that we talked to, works for the NCAA. Can't think of his name right now off the top of my head, but they had some national reporters at the LR game last week when they lost their game to Ferris State. But a little bit different this week when they go to Erskine. Erskine's only in their second or third year of football, struggling a bit. Bears need a win. Coming off that loss last week. One of the worst offensive games in Lenore Ryan history, Lanny. They had less than 100 yards of total offense. That's the lowest in over 50 years. So they're going to need to bounce back really quick, and it's the conference opener. Erskine in the league for the very first time this year, along with Emory and Henry. So it's a bounce-back game for Lenore Ryan. They hope to get back on track, and that game is Saturday afternoon game, I think, at 4 o'clock kickoff for that one. And the other part I wanted to mention is the NFL released some TV ratings of their first week of NFL games. And the Bengals and the Steelers, a game that went into overtime, drew over 18 million fans. That's the highest rated game on CBS since they picked up the NFL again back in 1998. So you're looking at 24 years, 22 years. That's the highest rated regular season game for CBS. The Steelers and Bengals over the weekend, 18 million. While the Panthers did some checking, the Panthers and Browns, they drew about 1.5 million.
I figured it was 3, and I was one of those.
Anyway, that's just part of things I've been following, and I mentioned it last night and going back and forth. And because Jacobs Fork Middle School, where I work at now, had a big win in football yesterday. They beat Maiden Middle School 8-0. And it's either the first win over a Maiden Middle School / Tuttle Middle School since Jacobs Fork maybe came into existence 27 years ago. And if it wasn't, it's only the first or second win they've ever had over Maiden.
That's amazing. Congratulations to them. Anytime that you can break those streaks, that's good. Not taking anything away from Maiden, but it's nice to have. It's nice to break those streaks. Just like I wish my Tigers could win one game in Chapel Hill in basketball.
Yeah, it's kind of similar kind of streak. Do you know, Lanny, the high school before Fred T. Ford came into existence, what it was called?
No, unless it was Blackburn or Ban Oak or I don't know.
It was I think it was Blackburn. That would have been in the early 50s.
I want to say that's where Blackburn Elementary sits now. That may have been the old high school, right there on 10.
I think it is. And I think before that, or after that, it was the Blackburn Middle School or Blackburn High.
It was a middle school after that, if I'm not mistaken.
And so, and some of the older folks, I'm one of the older folks now, but some of the people that follow the football in this part of the county say that if it wasn't the first win, or maybe the first win over Maiden Middle School yesterday, and since Jacobs Fork has been a middle school, you'd have to go all the way back to when it was Blackburn Middle School, and that would have been in the 90s.
Yeah, and here's, when I was in high school, Juju, there were no middle schools or junior highs in Catawba County, I don't think. I think that's a later invention. Lincoln County, Gaston County had them. Lincoln County, we came online about 74, 75, and then I think Catawba County kind of came online after that.
So would they just stay in elementary school until 8th grade?
I did. I was the last 8th grade class in the elementary schools in Lincoln County. And the first 9th grade class, and what back then they did junior high, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then at that time, the high schools only had 3 grades, 10, 11, 12.
Gotcha.
Yep. But anything else, sir?
No, that's about it. It's the week is flying by, getting ready for another college football weekend. Again, that whole thing going on with Appalachian, it should be interesting this weekend. Yep.
I don't watch College Game Day. My wife's all about it. I'm not. I'm not. I guess NFL Fox Sunday, not Fox Sunday, but the pregame show on Fox is about the only pregame show that I watch. I don't care for the one on CBS. I don't do Monday Night Countdown. That's not me. I want to watch the action. And it's only because I like the guys and they're very entertaining on Fox. They've got some great personalities there, and I watch it. College Game Day, I may hit the last 15 minutes just to get a couple picks, and that's about it.
Gotcha.
But I may watch a little bit more this Saturday.
Yeah, for me, the beginning of the show and the end is always interesting, obviously, when Corso does all that picking and whatnot. But, and they've added Pat McAfee this year.
Mm-hmm.
And depending, for the younger audience, depending on your cup of tea, he's toned down his act from what I watched last week.
I was going to say, somebody better have their finger on the button, on the dumper, with Pat McAfee on the air live.
That's right.
That could turn out bad. Sir, have a great day. Enjoy the weather.
Hey, it's going to be a great weekend as well. No rain in the forecast. Nice and cool. It was in the 50s this morning when I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it should be a great day.
We might try to sneak back in here on Monday night or something. Who knows?
Well, let me know.
I'll do it.
Happy to.
I'll do it. Sounds good. All right, we're gonna head out of here for today. I appreciate Juju joining us, and we'll see you again maybe tomorrow. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. I think we will because Bill Bender will join us. Have a great day, everybody.